Hello. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the toxic trade. At first glance, the name gives up a majority of what this topic is about, but I hadn't done any research on it before and I wanted to know more about it, so I'm doing my presentation about the toxic trade. The toxic trade, in the simplest of terms, is about the dumping of toxic waste in developing countries. The waste is only transitioned from the global north to the global south and makes their development that much harder because they have to deal with their own waste and the global north's waste and without knowing what to do with it. And these toxic waste are anything from ships that are no longer in use to relocation of factories that have asbestos and pollute the air. I'm sorry if I completely chopped up that word. There are several organizations that have worked towards the reduction of toxic waste. Two of these would include the Greenpeace and Basel Action Network, also known as BAN, the Basel Conference. The Greenpeace played a major role at the Basel Conference, and in 1998 they made the Basel Ban Law. The Basel Ban was an international treaty that sought to ban the export of toxic waste into developing countries from the developed countries. After their heroic efforts to help with the Basel Ban, their focus shifted towards promoting cleaner ways of production, stop the production and trade of toxic products, which are known as by the UN as the Dirty Dozen, and stop the production of toxic technology, and that is only naming a few things that they've done. The other organization that has aided in the reduction of the toxic trade is the Basel Action Network. The Basel Action Network, also known as BAN, was established after the Basel Conference in 1998. Since then, they have worked hard to promote sustainable solutions for the world. They have worked to create ties with non-governmental organizations, also known as NGOs, and empower them all over the world. They have managed to keep a strong and effective campaign through the years with the help of these NGOs. Currently, they are working towards green shipbreaking, which we'll talk about later, Basel Ban ratification, which ensures that the treaty's effectiveness is still in place, and a zero mercury campaign, where they're trying to get rid of mercury emissions. More recently, they have started a campaign to stop e-waste, in something they call the E-Waste Stewardship Project, which is a movement to stop the exports of hazardous electronic waste. In this graph, the green represents the known exporters, the light red is known as the destinations, and the deep red, almost burgundy, are supposed destinations. As you can see, the biggest green dots are the United States and the European Union, while the most known places that they give their waste to are Mexico, Pakistan, India, Thailand, China, and everything. Now, earlier I mentioned a term called shipbreaking. Shipbreaking is as simplistic as it sounds. It's the breaking down of ships into scraps to be used as building materials. An article came out yesterday about the shipbreaking in Bangladesh. The shipbreaking is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, and yet it is also India's greatest source of income, making $1.3 billion on an annual basis. It makes up 80% of their building materials, and they have about 70 companies along the coast ready to break down ships. Not only is it tragic, but the workers not only include adults, but they also include children. Learning more about the toxic trade has really made me think about the different ways that we influence it, big and small, here in America. It makes me really wonder where our waste goes once we throw it in the trash, it goes in a truck, and then to the dump where it inevitably gets filled up and starts to overflow. So my question is, what happens to it? This is something we all need to start thinking about more as Americans. If we aren't going to be informed about where our own waste is going, I don't feel like we deserve to be a superpower. And as you can see from this graph, I mean, we let out more e-waste than almost anywhere else, except only coming second to like the European Union. And in my opinion, that's just wrong, considering that we're supposed to be a place that people look up to and can come and be. In my opinion, it's just wrong that we do that. So that was my presentation to you about the different places that have worked towards making it so that the toxic trade comes to a stop, the different types of toxic trade that have really affected our world in a big way, and I think that the e-waste is only going to get worse if we don't start paying more attention to it. Okay, I hope you have a really great rest of your day.